Day. Happy Saturday. Thank you very much. Saturn Day. Okay, here we go. By the way, Saturn rules the day of authority. So it definitely allows us to take responsibility, right? But also maybe to push a little bit of the boundaries that we have consciously, unconsciously set up for ourselves. And the story that Seema told last night, I will tell it in a much shorter version, but I love the story very much. It's the story of Visvamitra and Vashista. So Vashista is this really beautiful, beautiful sage. And I have a personal experience with his energy because I've been to his temple slash cave twice now. And it is truly a magnificent place of harmony and love. And, you know, there's many places in India that just ooze the sense of love and support and devotion and all of those things. And there are also a lot of places in India that are full chaos, craziness, and your nervous system goes, you know, off the charts. So the Vashista cave, the Vashista temple is definitely one of those places along the Mother Ganga that just ooze that sense of love, support. And I say this all the time, it's the only place in India that I have been that the monkeys were even very sweet and kind, which is very rare. And so Vashvamitra, he was this great warrior, and he came back from a very big war with all of his people, many people that were fighting, and decided to just take a quick stop at this sage's place just to rest for a moment. And so the sage, Vashista, said to him, well, let me give you some food, take a moment to rest. And Vishvamitra says, you're crazy, I have way too many people here, there's no way that you could feed everybody. And Vashista said, you know, just give me a chance, let me take care of you. And so he went over and he whispered into his cow's ear, we have a lot of people here, will you please put some food out for all these people? And you know, they want something a little bit better than we often have here at the cave, which is usually the boiled potatoes and the cabbage. They want something a little bit more. And so this was a very special cow. It was a wish-fulfilling cow that the sage Vashista had actually, with all of the work, we call it tapas, all of the deep practices that he did, he was awarded or given as a boon this wish-fulfilling cow. So it really was because of his austerities, because of what he did in the world, that he was given this beautiful, special cow. And I'm gonna just say that the cow did exactly what it was supposed to do, which was give all this food to all of these people. And let's go ahead and tune in with an Om, and then we'll do a little Gayatri mantra, and I'll tell you the story as we move along. So bring your hands together at your heart center. It's a little thought that we all have a wish-fulfilling cow. We all have a place within us that all our dreams are met and all our desires we can bring into this lifetime. And the Gayatri mantra is this beautiful prayer. It's to the goddess Gayatri, who says, may the divine light, this brilliant light, this radiant light within me, may it be that place that I create from, that I speak from, that I think from. May I not be distracted so much from the external. May I continue to go back and back and back to what is so pure and light and bright within me, the radiance. We'll do call and response. First Om together though. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha. Om Bhurbhuvah Swaha. Tatsaviturvarenyam. Tatsaviturvarenyam. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Yo na prachodaya. Om Swaha. Om Swaha. Big breath in for Om. Om. I said to chant this mantra every day. Bring you the knowledge of the universe, the knowledge, the sun as our wisdom body. And I promise you, listening to Seema last night makes you want to chant the mantra 54 times, 108 times a day. Nothing stops. Release your hands, open your eyes. I always think it's funny when people tell me they really don't have time to do 108 chants of the Gayatri mantra. Because what I would like for you to do, if you have that to say to me, this is what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to film yourself during the day and send the film to me and let me take a little check-in as to where you might have time, and maybe you can change up a couple things. Come onto your hands and knees, sitting back into child's pose. I'm to blame too. I get caught up scrolling. No question about that. I get caught up in my cookbooks. I do. But maybe we can make it a little bit of a offering to start to chant the Gayatri mantra every day together. Child's pose here. Release into your hands, into your feet. Make sure that you let me know who you are if you just have one name and I can't see your face. I see you, Tatiana. You're good. Audrey, I'm not sure who you are, but you might have signed in, so we might be good to go.
I am new.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
new. Okay, come on up to your hands and knees and begin to cat and cow. Move your spine. Eyes open or closed, up to you. So many blessings at Wish Fulfilling Cow because of all the practices that he did. And he became this very powerful sage, right? I didn't realize until last night that there's very, very many levels of being a sage. Right? You could be a beginner sage. You could be maybe an intermediate sage. And then you can be the Vashista sage. And there's no question of how powerful that is. Downward facing dog, please. Breathing in and breathing out. Moving forward to plank pose. Finding the power and lifting up through the earth to draw your rib cage up, your thighs up, your throat up. And then lifting from your seat, guiding yourself back into downward facing dog. Beautiful. Inhale that right leg back and up behind you. And then bring, with an exhale, your right knee towards your nose. And then circle that right knee out to the right and send it all the way back up to that down dog split. Do that again. Send the knee all the way up towards your nose and then circle it all the way out and back up. Beautiful. And if I don't make sense, Veronica is demonstrating. Stepping your right foot forward, please open to Virabhadrasana 2, second warrior. And just sink into your hips. Draw your spine long. Front of your spine grows, back of your spine grows. And then send your left arm down your left leg. Take your right arm up and back. Nice, Anne. Nice, Lisa. Melody, beautiful. Nice, Perry. Straightening that front leg. Reach for that ankle, taking your left arm up to the sky, just very gently, just easing into the practice. Nice, Susan, Tatiana. Sarah. Beautiful. And at any moment, you can always turn your head down. You can always turn your head just looking straight ahead or up toward the ceiling, dropping your hands down to the floor, step back, downward face. Sweet. Once again, come forward to plank. Now lift your right leg up. That feeling of squeezing your legs toward each other, come slightly past your wrists and lower all the way down to your belly. Drop your foot, rise up into cobra. Press back, downward facing dog. Taking that left leg back and up behind you, down dog split. As you exhale, draw the knee toward the nose and then circle that leg all the way out and back up to the split. Beautiful. Inhale, exhale, squeeze the knee toward the nose, circle it out and all the way back up. Beautiful. Stepping that left foot forward, opening up to Virabhadrasana 2. Put your weight into your back foot as well as to your front foot. Drop deep into your pelvis, but lift your spine. And then send your right arm down your right leg, take your left arm up and back. Nice, Lisa, nice, Lori. And then straighten that front leg and reach for triangle pose. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Finding that place of Vashista, that place of the sage inside of you, that calmness. And touch down, downward facing dog. Come on down to those knees. Sit back on those heels, sit up. If you cannot sit on the heels, maybe come to a cross-legged position. Just close your eyes for a moment, be tall, be nice and tall. All this beautiful food was served and Visvamitra was like, what is happening here? How is it that all this food is being served? I never saw anybody in the kitchen. I never saw anybody preparing the food and realized it was the wish fulfilling cow. So went to the sage Vashista and said, thank you so much for everything that you've given. I would like to give you anything you would like in return for your cow. Come forward onto your hands and knees, downward facing dog. Vashista was so kind and said, that's very sweet, but she cannot go with you, even if I wanted her to. She came to me through my austerities. She's meant to be with me, that she will not survive unless she is with me, that you cannot take her. Inhaling that right leg back and up behind you. And sending the knee toward the nose and then stretch it all the way to the left side of your body, so to the left armpit. And then move it back to the right and slide it all the way back up to that split. Try to circle it. Do that again, pull the knee in toward the nose, take it over to the left armpit, and then circle it all the way back out to the right and all the way back up. Stepping the right foot forward, open up Virabhadrasana 2. Sink deep into that seat. Lift that side body nice and long. Sending your left arm down your left leg, taking your right arm up and back. I just want this whole side body to get as much space as you can, sending your right knee as far forward as you can. It will not pass the ankle here since you're reaching back. And then take your right forearm onto your right side, take your left arm over your ear. Gorgeous. Rise back up to second warrior. Straighten your front leg and take it into triangle pose. Visvamitra was like angry. It's like, no way, I need that cow. I need that cow. I need that cow. But she just said, you cannot. You have to go do your own practices. You cannot just take what is someone else's. Release your hands down, downward facing dog. Forward to plank. I didn't do it on the other side. Lift the left leg. Lower down slow. Drop the foot, rise up into cobra. Press back, downward facing dog. Left leg back and up behind you. Squeeze the knee towards your nose and then pass it over to your right armpit. And then slide it all the way back and up. Beautiful. Exhaling, bring the knee toward the nose again. Sliding it all the way to the opposite armpit and then back and up behind you. So beautiful, all through the joints. Stepping your left foot forward, open to Virabhadrasana 2. Sliding your right arm down your right leg, taking your left arm up. Keep sending that knee forward. This is so beautiful. Watching that right hip, push back into that right hip. So you have a nice, powerful back leg. And then take your left forearm onto your left thigh, right arm over your ear. Lift those right rib cage, that right rib cage as high as you can. Good, rise back up your 2, straighten that front leg, and Trikonasana. Placing your weight into the big toe, the little toe mound, evenly. Feeling that expansion, the eagle wings between fingertip to fingertip. Take a breath in. As you exhale, drop the hand to the floor, right hand to the floor, step back, downward facing dog. Take it through vinyasa of choice, or maybe you're choosing to do less vinyasa today, which is absolutely fine. Down to your knees, maybe cat-cow instead. Nice, Yasmin. Beautiful. Kind of brilliance are we praying for? Pranayam, the highest kind. Jump to squat. You cannot squat. You can maybe do a more of a goddess pose. That might work for you today. Maybe you stay on your toes, or maybe you separate your feet a little wider. Always my conversation with myself is that when you have a dream and a desire, and then part of it comes through and you go, that's good enough. Oh, the universe is answering 1/10 of my desire. That's good enough. No, it's not good enough. The universe is waiting to pour in the rest, and then you say that's enough, and the universe is like, really? Standing forward, bend, please. Really? That's all you wanted? We were giving you everything. There's such a thing as patience. You meditate on the highest brilliance, the eternal truth, the source of life. Hands on your hips, press down through your legs, rise up to stand. Bring your hands to your heart center in prayer. Close your eyes. What is it that you pray for? We're on a waxing moon, which means that we're creating, we're growing, we're manifesting. What drives our mind? What propels us? Inhale deeply here. Exhale, release your hands. Hug your left knee into your chest. Place your left ankle on top of your right knee. Sit back to chair. Make sure you flex that left foot. Sweep your arms up and alongside those ears. Now reach down and pick up your foot and your knee so that your shin kind of comes parallel to your navel. And then place your left foot into your left hand and pull it back like you're doing like a half frog. Pull it back. That's nice, Sheryl. Beautiful. Release that foot down. Sit into chair. Groins go back. And from here, let's take it right into the second side without coming up. Right ankle on top of left knee. Just move the ankle on top of the knee in chair. One-legged chair. You'll feel the inner groins moving back and wide. That's beautiful. You're making space. You'll feel the low belly lifting, the chest lifting, the arms reaching up through the armpits. And then reach down, hold that ankle and knee and lift up, straightening that standing leg. And then hand off that foot to your right hand. And then draw that back, drawing and opening up. Nice, Susan. Beautiful. Send that foot back down to the floor, sit back into chair. Clasp your hands behind your back. Take a breath into the heart and bow forward, taking the arms up and over any amount. Bring your left hand to your outer right shin. Bring your right arm to the sky. Stretch the arms, stretch the shoulders. Press the outer shin and the hands. You have a little resistance. Make sure the inner groins keep going wide, the inner thighs keep moving wide. And then switch sides. Your hands float to the floor, step back, downward facing dog. Come on down to those knees and press back into child's pose. The story goes on that Visvamitra ended up doing many, many practices. He wanted to become Vashista. He wanted to be that kind of a sage. And so do I. Even the moment that Visvamitra was like threatening Vashista, Vashista knew it was just that human thing to want something, a wish-fulfilling cow. Who wouldn't want that? He didn't hold any grudges. He didn't hold any anger against Visvamitra for threatening him or wanting to take what was his or any of the things that happened. Just knew it was a humanness. It was part of that place of always reaching outside of ourselves for happiness. So Visvamitra did all of these practices, all of these practices, all of these practices. And every time he thought he got to that place of being that great sage, he just wasn't there yet. Had to go back and do more. Come on up to your hands and knees. Do a little cat and cow here. Move your spine here. Maybe eyes open, maybe eyes closed. It is one of the gifts of India, I think, is that whenever you show up at someone's house, they always want to feed you. Right? Food always appears as the most delicious food ever. It's part of the culture. So whether you have that wish-fulfilling cow or not, there's always the place of sharing nourishment with a stranger. Downward facing dog. Inhaling that right leg back and up behind you. Squeezing the knee toward the nose. And then shoot the right leg all the way out to the left and fall onto your big toe side of your back foot. Fall over onto the big toe side of the back foot. Lift your left arm up to the sky. Veronica's doing it beautifully. You can see Veronica. You can't see Veronica, Tatiana? And then lower the left hand down, downward facing dog. Inhaling your left leg back and up behind you. Squeeze your knee towards your nose. Shoot your left leg out to the right and then fall onto the big toe side of your back foot. Stretch your right arm up to the sky. Beautiful, Anne. Nice, Lisa. Beautiful, Susan. Tatiana, there you go. Gorgeous. And touch down, downward facing dog. Good. Come on down to your hands and knees. Make sure your knees are directly underneath your hips. And then come down to your left forearm and your right fingertips. I'll try to talk you through this. Left forearm, cross it in front of your mat, right fingertips. And then take your right leg back behind you. Stretch it all the way up and then out to the right. And then with it being flexed, pull that knee in towards your armpit and then press it all the way back out. That's it, Anne. Pull it in towards your right armpit and then press it all the way back out to your mat behind you. Squeeze it in. That's it, Dana. And push it out. That's it. Squeeze it in and push it out. Gorgeous, Lisa. Come on up and let's change to the other side. Right forearm comes down, left fingertips, left leg back behind you. Press out through the heel. You really want to push out through that heel when you reach that leg to straight, and then pull the knee in toward the armpit, squeeze in, navel in. Press out through the heel. That's it, Lori. Pull in. Press out, breathing. Pull in. One more time. Gorgeous. Lower that knee down. Come on up to your hands and knees. Stretch your right arm out to the right and then thread your right arm underneath your left. We know that when we're opening up the hips, we also want to complement by opening the shoulders because they both really do mirror each other. So often if our hips are tight, so are our shoulders. Opening the shoulders. Breathing deeply. One up. Please switch sides. Rise up onto your hands and knees, press back, downward facing dog. Inhaling that right leg back and up behind you, down dog split. And then stepping your right foot forward, bringing both hands inside your right foot. So make sure your knee is on top of your ankle. Help that foot out if it's kind of stuck halfway. Both hands come inside and then walk your hands to the upper left-hand corner of your mat. Keep sending your butt back. So it's almost, I like to think of this almost like a one-legged dog. So my hips are lifting up as high as they can go as if in a dog, but I'm stretching my spine nice and long. You could come down to your elbows if that feels good, but don't lose your hips lifting. Breathing. There was a bunch of moments of Visvamitra and his ego letting go. And, you know, we always know that there is an important part of our ego that must stay. But that point where there is great strength and humility. For those of you that are doing everyday magic with me, today is the day that we are connecting with an oak leaf. And oak leaves hold that place of majesty and the doorway into the other worlds where that we stay super humble but super powerful. Walk your hands back in, walk to the left until you come to the center of your mat. Turn, turn, turn. If you're newer to me, that's a tricky maneuver, so take a look at Veronica, and then a deep bow. Your feet are parallel to each other. You can definitely bend one knee and then the other going side to side. Again, just getting into the groins, getting into the hips, getting into the buttocks. And then maybe come to straight legs on both legs and walk your hands forward. So it's like a very wide-legged downward facing dog. Your right hand stay there. You might need to walk it back just a little bit. Take your left hand to your outer right ankle, left hand to outer right ankle. Maybe even need to squeeze your legs a little closer together. Make sure the top of your left thigh stays to the left. So you're not letting your left hip fall. Your inner thighs stay wide. Beautiful. And then switch sides. Left arm reaches out in front of you. Right hand reaches to your outer left ankle. And come all the way back as your hands come onto your hips, press down through your legs, rise up to stand. Wiggle your feet in just a little bit and then turn your toes wide in a nice high squat. Inhale your arms to the sky, interlace your palms, press straight up. Gorgeous. Inner knees stay wide. Nice, Sarah. Great. Beautiful melody. Yep. Elena, gorgeous. Rise up, straighten the legs, turn the feet parallel to each other again. Clasp your hands behind your back. Shrug your shoulders towards your ears. At first it seems awkward, but get them up there. Then squeeze the shoulder blades deep onto your back and bow forward. Keep the sides of the throat nice and long. Relax your hands to the floor. Walk to the front of your mat. Step back, downward facing dog, and take through vinyasa of choice, or none at all, maybe child's pose. Beautiful. Vashisthasana. That is the name of the sage, Vashista. Any of you that just figured that out, yay. All right, left leg back and up behind you. When you're ready, left foot comes forward. Both hands come inside. Make sure you help that left foot come as far forward as it can. Knee on top of ankle. Walking your hands to the upper right-hand corner of your mat. Maybe drawing down to those elbows, maybe staying with straight arms. And Bhasvaha. That's Varanyam Bargo Devasati Mahi Yana Prachadaya. Walk yourself back in, turn yourself to the right. Deep bow here. Again, maybe bending one knee and then the other, going side to side. Then coming to that center place where both legs stay straight, you walk your hands forward, extending your side body, lifting your hips as high as you can, maybe even coming up to your tippy toes for a moment, trying to keep your hips that high, but lowering your heels back down, stretching the backs of your legs. Remember, your armpits stay lifted as well. Weight into your heels. Walking it back slowly, slowly. Left hand stays underneath your face this time. Right arm reaches to the sky. Reach up. Switch side. Open that shoulder so the head of that arm bone must lift. Beautiful. Hands on your hips, push down through your legs, rise up to center. Wiggle your feet in just a little bit, turn your feet wide, come into that nice high squat, interlace your palms over the top of your head. Bend those knees deeply. Pull your throat back. Yep. Nice, Anne. Nice, Lisa. Veronica, beautiful. Melody, rise up. Turn your feet parallel to each other. Clasp your hands behind your back. Maybe awkward handhold so the other thumb weaves in first. Shrug your shoulders towards your ears and bow forward. Take the arms up and over and out. Relax your hands to the floor. Walk to the front of your mat. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhaling that right leg back and up behind you. Sending your right knee forward for pigeon. If you need to lie on your back, right ankle on top of left knee. Squeeze your knees toward each other. Round in your back as if you're coming forward over a beach ball. Send your sit bones back and wide and then lower your forehead down to a block or to the mat. If you're on your back, right ankle to left knee. After all of this beautiful work, what is the work? It is doing the mantras. It is living a life that is in service of others. It's doing practices. So he came upon the house. He was coming to ask Vashista permission to become the kind of sage that he was. He had to kind of get that wonderful transmission. And as he approached the house, he heard Vashista and his wife speaking. Vashista was speaking about how kind Visvamitra was, how he deserved this. He's done so much work, and how along the way that Vashista has been through his mind and through his energy encouraging him. And the last thing he had to do was come and ask for his blessing. Visvamitra heard this. And he was so humbled, kind of melted. He came in and just fell to his knees and asked, "May I please be the sage you are? May I please have that? May I live my life as you? Not as you as in what you are moving through, but as you as the sage that you've become." So he was granted that, and as he left, he went to meditate and he was offered the Gayatri mantra. That was the blessing, the final blessing. Gayatri mantra given to him through the etheric realm. So here we chant. It's interesting, right? Some of the teachers have said you don't have to do all of these deep practices the sages have done for us. You just have to do the mantra. We go, okay, thanks. And then we do it for a week and then we stop. We do it for a day. Human mind is very funny. It even is to the point, which is so sweet, that if all you really want to do is Om, just Om every day, that will hold the energy for you. Walk yourself up, take your right hand to your left ankle, do a Just twisting, right hand lift, reaching for your left ankle. If this doesn't work, your right hand can go on your sacrum. You just turn to the right. Squeeze your knees in toward each other. Gorgeous. And as you release, downward facing dog, right leg back and up behind you, down dog split. Stepping your right foot forward, open up to Virabhadrasana, 2-second warrior. Sliding your left arm down your left leg, taking your right arm up and back. And then float forward into half moon, Ardha Chandrasana, right hand on a block in front of you or on the floor, left leg lifts up. Left arm to the sky, you can look down or up and maybe reach back for that ankle. A gentle release, downward facing dog. Beautiful, everybody. Take it through vinyasa of choice. Maybe come forward to plank, lower down to your belly, rise up to cobra, lifting your head, neck, and chest. Or maybe staying on your hands and knees and doing a little cat-cow. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog, left leg back and up behind you when you're ready. If you're still in cobra, really enjoy it. Take your time. Send your left knee forward for pigeon, left knee behind your left wrist, or come onto your back and left ankle on top of right knee. Squeeze your knees toward each other, round a little bit here as you come forward, and then lower your forehead down to a block or to the floor. Again, if you're on your back, left ankle to right. The other thing that the Gayatri Mantra brings up for us is that we are not it. There are many lokas. Om Bhur Bhurva Swaha. There are many realms of existence. We are not Earth being the only one, humans being the only one. There are many levels of existence happening simultaneously, which also helps to humble us. And again, the idea of the oak tree, going back to everyday magic that many of you have been doing with me for 12 days, which has been just remarkable, is the idea of the oak leaf being that place that awakens us to these inner realms. If you've never held an oak leaf before, I wholly suggest it. For it gives you this energy of being so completely alive, pulsating. The oak leaf is that place of the subliminal, the place between the worlds. Sounds very magical, and it is. For the lokas, the places in between. The abode of the sages, the enlightened ones, the abode of Brahma, abode of truth, Satya. As you rise back up, let's take that thigh stretch. So you're going to reach your left hand back for your right ankle. Again, if that does not work, you can just take your hand to your sacrum and twist. Keep pulling your knees in toward each other. So you almost have this hydraulic lift. You're drawing yourself up. Then gently release, sending your left leg back and up behind you, down dog split. Sending your left foot forward, opening to Virabhadrasana 2. Your left knee is going to bend and point at your second toe. You're facing the long side of your mat. When you're sinking deep into your pelvis, send your right arm down your right leg, take your left arm up and back. And then float yourself forward into half moon, left hand down to the floor, right leg lifts up. Always put your hand on a block or a book. If your hand does not touch the floor easily, maybe reach back for your ankle here. Brilliant. And then step it back, downward facing dog. And come forward to plank pose. Lower all the way down to your belly and turn your cheek to the side. And just rest for a moment. Dimahi, we meditate upon Savitur, the brilliant sun. What kind of brilliance? The highest kind. Why the Savitur, the sun? Because it propels us, it drives our mind from the very gross to the subtle, from outside to inside. Meditate on this highest brilliance, the eternal source of life. That which is derived from the sacred truth. Prayer. If you have your cheek turned to one side, turn it to the other side so you stretch the neck. Come on up to Sphinx pose, up to your elbows. The elbows are underneath your shoulders. Actually, as your hands place down, you actually feel you're dragging your body through your hands, but pull your navel in. And then tuck your toes and lift your hips up. So you're in a forearm plank pose. We'll do a forearm Vashisthasana while you're here. Harder to do it while you're up, and see if you can turn your left forearm slightly in. Stack your right leg on top of your left leg, left arm to the sky. I don't know what I just said, but in class, we're all doing something different. Lower down and switch sides. Second side. Right forearm or left, that doesn't matter. And lower back down, beautiful. I'd like you to reach back for your ankles here. Bring your forehead to the mat. Very nice, Valerie. Bring your forehead to the mat. Navel pulls in here. Easy to let go of that power center here because our belly's facing the floor. So navel in. If you cannot reach your ankles, right, just let your hands come back to cobra. You could do cobra instead with your knees bent. Lifting up head, neck, and chest here. Pull your ankles back if you have your bow pose. And then release back into child's pose. The Gayatri mantra is like a torch. It's not just like a light, you know, like when we light up a room, everything lights up. It's like a torch that absolutely focuses light on something. And what is that something? Brilliance. Releasing ourselves from that state of Maya, confusion, always looking outside ourselves. Come on up to your hands and knees and then slide your right knee on top of your left knee. We're going to do Gomukhasana. So right knee, slide it forward and then bring it back. So it's just resting in front of your left knee. Separate your feet as wide as you can and then sit back between your heels. For some of us, this doesn't work because our hips are really tight. So in that case, you can do right shin in front of left shin. And if you do right shin in front of left shin, make sure you're flexing your feet. If your knee is on top of knee, pull your toes back here as well. You might want to put a block or some kind of a prop underneath your seat. And if you're comfortable and your knee is resting just very easily on top, walk forward. If not, stay upright. Walking yourself back up. Switch sides, like neither mean you come onto your hands and knees and switch sides, or just bring the other knee on top. And each side may feel different. So if this side feels tighter, honor that. Get a prop underneath your seat might help. If a block is too high, a blanket might be just enough. And then if you are comfortable here, walk forward. If you are not, stay lifted. Breathing in and out through the nose. Mantras are very powerful. You chant them and you sing them again and again. They help to liberate the mind. That constant, habitual, running the same thoughts around again and again. Be like sage who understands when someone in his life is not very skillful. Doesn't hold a grudge, doesn't get angry. Walk your hands back up. Undo your legs in front of you, stretch your legs out. Maybe shake your legs out for a minute. And then bend your right knee. Let your right knee fall out to the right, Janu Shirshasana, twisting to the left just a little bit over that extended leg, and then come forward any amount. Janu Shirshasana. What is the knowledge that we're asking to open ourselves up to in this prayer? Spiritual heart, higher intellect, helping us understand the sacred text. Our willpower, great willpower, a higher state of awareness, the power of memory to remember who we truly are. Slowly rise back up and just feel for a moment. Remember, the forward bends are so powerful for our nervous system. It's all powerful for our nervous system, but specifically forward bends. Good, change sides. Janu Shirshasana, bending your left knee, letting it fall out to the left, twisting your navel over that extended leg. And bow. Slowly come back up, pause again to feel. And come to a comfortable cross-legged seat. And just walk yourself forward here. Maybe walk your upper body to the right side. And then to the left side. Back to centered, coming up. Here is the opportunity that you have to go upside down, whether that means snuggling over to a wall and putting your legs up the wall, whether it means coming to shoulder stand or head stand or handstand or form balance. Just a minute or two here to find yourself upside down. Nice, Veronica. Visvamitra. Nice job. Nicely so. Wherever you find yourself, please keep breathing. One more minute here. If you need to come out of it before that, please do. And if coming out of it means you want to sit to meditate in silence, that works really well. And then gently begin to bring yourself out of whatever inversion you chose for yourself. Come on up to sit. If you were in shoulder stand, maybe roll your head side to side. If you're in headstand, maybe take a child's pose for a moment. Once you come into your comfortable cross-legged position, let your right palm drop on top of your left palm and bring your thumbs to touch. Right palm drops on top of your left, bring your thumbs to touch, resting down on your lap. Lying long and closing your eyes. Letting your lips even slightly separate so your jaw is relaxed. Coming into a moment of silent meditation, silent contemplation, wherever you feel you are exactly right now today. You can stay here. Come down to lie on your back for Shavasana. If you want to do a final spinal twist, you're welcome to do that as well. So gently begin to deepen your breath. Please stretch and yawn in any way that serves you well. If you're lying on your back, hug your knees into your chest, roll to the right side. Come on up to sit. Bring your hands together at your heart center. Inhale for the sound of Om. Deep breath in. Om. Swell your hands to the face and your eyebrows. Namaste, everybody. Thank you so much. I hope you have a brilliant day. Make it great. Audrey, I just need your last name so I can put you on the roster.